All right, we're going to show you the Earthshift Kitchen here again because we've got so many people that have said, can you go in a little deeper? What do I do when I come to Earthshift? Because that's a big dilemma. We've got the super fuel, but how do you use the super fuel and or what do I get? What a dilemma. Now, I used to be this level of person, so don't get me wrong here, okay? We're going to show you a set of fuels. If you had a car, remember this car that you own called the body, this body, if it's a car, wants super fuel. It doesn't want minion fuel. Okay, you know what a minion is? I used to be one too. I used to eat all the fast food. I used to just eat it. It was a good deal. 2 tacos for $1. There's another world you may not know, and I'm going to share with you this world. It's called not AM, that's the minion world. AM, it's a simple 1 crystal dial, but once you get over the veil and you come over to this side of the fence, and remember, this is years worth of research to figure out what kind of fuels work best in this machine. Okay, and everybody says all the time, hey Robert, show them your abs. Okay, look. Okay, so I'm an older guy, 51 coming up. I've lost 35 pounds of baggage. By what? By changing my fuels, by changing my liquids. Let's just go through. First thing, what do I do when I come to Earthshift? How about let me show you what's in my kitchen? Okay, really simple. And this is how I set up my kitchen pretty much. Now, we use a variety of products. We're going to go through these real quick and then we'll come back and we'll go give you a little more in depth what we're doing. Tribulus. Tribulus is really smart. I put this in my body. People say, if you're a vegan and you're not eating flesh anymore and everything, don't you get skinny? No. I'm really strong, and part of the reason being why I keep my hormones up is Tribulus. And I'm not saying this raises your hormones. What I'm saying is this feeds your glands. If you're feeding your glands, now your glands can produce. And if your glands don't produce, guess what? You don't make hormones. And hormones aren't for sexuality. They're mostly for your immune system. Milk thistle seeds. We'll just go through these quickly. Sheila Jeet, the king of Ayurvedic herbs. MSM powder, good for your joints. Remember, you want to get flexible, you want to change yourself, you got to get lubricated. Himalayan crystal salt. This salt is stone ground. It's not machine ground. And we'll show you how to make Soleil salt and a couple different ones there later with that, because that's a fantastic piece of equipment that everybody needs to have. It's crystal salt. Cacao powder. Smoothies. Oh my gosh. 26% fat. It's the Arriba Nacional. Okay. Now, here's cacao powder and cacao beans and cacao paste. Cacao butter. These are your 4 different pieces that make super chocolates. And super chocolate will show you also how to do. Very easy. Now, the cacao butter and the cacao beans, these are, by the way, hand-peeled beans. They're not machine peeled, they're hand-peeled one at a time. This cacao powder is a 26% fat. It's not like most of the cacao powders. Here's the Himalayan salt again. Now we get into the sort of fruit section. Goji powder. It's the powder from the goji berry. And goji berries are very special. Remember, they're burgundy, they're not red, and they're really a substitute for a lot of the fruits and sugars that you're eating now. Changing over your foods for these foods. You're not adding any of these foods to your diet, remember? People keep saying, I'm going to add all this stuff to my... No. You can exchange what you're doing now for these types of foods. Now, we have golden berries. Golden berries have about 13-14% of protein. They're berries. Remember, a lowland gorilla only eats little tiny berries, and this gorilla is really strong. Their horses only eat hay and they eat grass. Why are they so strong? So once we learn how to take in these plant-based proteins, our body does get strong. And again, remember, I'm 51 years old. I'm faster, quicker, smarter than I ever have been. And I've totally rehabilitated myself to a better level than I used to be when I was 18. So the accident that I had in 1997, which was a massive car accident, I broke my nose, my cheek, chipped my teeth, fractured my navicular bone, tore my nerve off my elbow, pulled my bicep tendon out, my shoulder tendon. I fractured some of my costal cartilage and frontal ribs, And the big thing was is I tore 2 lumbar spine discs, L4, L5, L5S1, unfixable. Huge prolapses, 9 and 10 millimeter, big, huge discs. So I had a lot of changing in my mind to do. I was totally stopped from playing the doctor of chiropractic that I did for about 15 years. So what I had to do is see, just like yourself, you're switching gears because you're finding other optimal sources to run your health and wellness. Now, I had to do this. See, a lot of people, remember, are in a situation. You're either trying to gain consciousness, so you eat these foods because you know these are the highest super fuels and vibrational fuels there are on the planet. 2, let's say you're sick. Okay, the sickies, remember, there's 75 million people in the United States, and I say that it's because you're sick is because you're eating minion food. And remember, minion food is food that just tastes good, it's on sale, it's just to fill your stomach. It's fake food. This is real food, and there are varieties of real food. You go to the market and you see real food all over the place, but that real food is either non-organic, it's full of pesticides, insecticides, herbicides. It's genetically modified, which means that it's been sterilized, not like you think. Genetically modified foods are sterile. So you're not sterilized, they're sterile, and what happens is, to me, you are what you eat, and the number one thing is to change over a lot of your foods to just better sources of food, optimizing your foods and liquids. Now, false sugars. We don't have false sugars here. We have all our packaging is in bisphenol A free packaging. Don't throw the bags out, reuse them again. Everything we have here is reusable. Now, let's just go through this quick. You got your sugars as far as their next part. We have palm sugar that comes from the coconut tree. It comes from actually the fruit of the tree. And what an exchange of sugar. Remember, no more chemical sugars, no more false sugars, no more fake sugars, no more minion sugars. Minion sugars are sugars that taste good, but your body doesn't know what to do with them because they're chemicals. Remember, chemicals get stuck in this machine. I lost 40 pounds of not fat, I lost 40 pounds of toxicity, chemicals, and all different things that were lodged and stuck inside my body. So the reason you can see my veins in my arms, watch when I bend them. They're like weird looking veins. Look, they bend. Okay? It's because these foods have made my body really clean. And it's really easy. Anybody who just exchanges these foods into their foods and takes out the foods, because remember, you're not going to have one bit of lack in your new, not diet, but your new lifestyle. There's no diet. Diet means that's a 4-letter word. That's not cool. This is a lifestyle. And what kind? I'll just say it's way better than you ever thought. Because you're only doing what you know how to do. Let's finish the rest. And now when I show you this, if you don't really sort of get inspired in a way, and remember, I can talk on this really fast and go through this, but the reason why you're not doing this is because it is new. And if it is new, that would mean take the time, really. If you came to me as a toxicologist, parasitologist, doctor, chiropractor, or just somebody that's looking for some form of information, changing your liquids and your fuels to high mineralized foods is very, very essential. We've not figured it out for you. You can do all this stuff on your own and try to go on the internet and go everywhere anytime. I mean, I used to do that. It's the only reason why we developed Earthshift. Remember, this is a wholesale club. It's an not exclusive club, it's inclusive. It means it's open to everybody. Now, the next piece is teas. I'm making my tea tomorrow. I take yerba mate, and that's one of the teas that I drink. This is a non-smoked yerba mate, and I don't cook it. It's going to sit overnight, and you can see it's only been in there for 2 hours, but look at what it does. It leaches into the water, and so that's my tea. I don't have to kill it. Remember, we're not trying to kill these things. These are very exotic foods, and killing them is really what it does when you burn them, or when you actually take them over like 120 degrees. So my finger in the morning, I take this to what heat, I don't need a temperature gauge, my finger is. And once it gets hot enough to go, whoa, it's done. It's about as hot as I can only stand on my lips anyways. Now, another type of tea, I just put these in different containers. These are hawthorn berry seeds, or berries. And we have this very excellent tea. These are violet colored teas. Another one also you could make is a dried hibiscus flowers. You can do this in a tea. You can make this into a, and like I said, these are all videos. Look up Dr. Robert Cassar, 6 Liquids of Vitality. We show you all these different ways on how to do this, and these are just some examples. You can do this any way you want. But you can make, you can see here, I take the chia seeds, and you can see them at the bottom, and this is the most beautiful tasting, like, vitamin C ascorbic acid drink. And you can put a little bit of sugar. Let's go back to our sugars here again. Our sugars are real raw agave nectar. You can use honey if you like. Make sure you use a brand of honey that is raw and unfiltered, and try to not get so much sometimes local stuff if it's, you know, within the city limits, because remember, bees, they're not, you know, it's hard to be organic. Why? What do you put a noose on a bee and watch it where it goes and gets the pollen and it gets the, no. So we have also sweeteners, not sugars. Mesquite powder is a sweetener, and so is lucuma. Lucuma tastes like cookie dough. If you haven't had it before, it's a fruit. Oh my gosh. Talk about good. These take the place of all those crummy chemical sweeteners. Agave powder. Agave powder is 100% inulin, or in Spanish they say inulina. Now inulin is what feeds the probiotic. It's like a prebiotic. It's a before the bacteria food. So when you take this, it feeds the good bacteria in you, and you may get some gas with this, and all it's doing is terraforming and refixing your stomach. In time, you won't have the gas. Real agave, if you look at the certificate of analysis, first of all, it's got this color to it. You can see this stuff is heavy. This is so full of minerals. Now, 50% of this liquid is inulin, which is in this dried form. Real agave has about 50% inulin in it. And inulin is what makes this special with all the minerals. I mean, this is really heavy compared to water if it was the same weight. The difference between a piece of aluminum and a piece of iron. They look the same, but whoa, they feel different. Okay, those are the sweeteners. Now, healthy snacks. We've got lots of healthy snacks. These are just a few. We've got about 100 of them. Goji bars, all made from Tibetan goji berries, known for their fountain of youth powers. Here's ingredients of this one. Almonds, coconut, goji berries, figs, raw agave nectar, sea salt, cinnamon, and vanilla. Actually, they use a lot of our products to make this. Jake does. Makes an excellent product. Makes also raw nola cereal. That's one of the things that you really want to have in the morning. Raw nola cereal, exchange it for your other cereals and see what you get. You'll never go back, I'm telling you. And all these different varieties of healthy snacks. Now, you can see this color is so beautiful. This is not blue. It's indigo violet purple. And you can see when I put it down like this, you can see the purple in here. Okay? I've grown this. This is an experiment. This is 4 months old in my refrigerator, and I want to see if the stuff goes bad. It doesn't. What you have to watch out for, now if this is left outside, this is what I've done. I've used the blue-green algae. We do testing on the blends to be able to find out the most tint we can get, because a lot of the batches we get, they don't really tint. So we had to do special testing, so the manufacturing facility does special batch testings for us, and I said, I'll take the most phycocyanin you can get. That's what we want, because this is what we do. We don't just put it on our drinks, we grow it. And you can see what a beautiful color, and your body absorbs this. Now if I mix this color with this color, do you know what purple I get? This is what I have every day. I mix the burgundy with this blue indigo violet, and you get the deepest purple. And talk about vibration. Remember, you're drinking this because it's not healthy. It's essential for health, is to take foods and fuels, like we talked about, that are of a higher vibration. So let's get through here. Food grade hydrogen peroxide. You wash your vegetables. You use this in many ways in your kitchen. You can dilute it down. This is an 8%. You can dilute this down to 3%. You wash a lot of things with this. Remember, this is hydrogen peroxide, otherwise known as ozone, or basically oxygenated water. And it is strong, so you watch out. Don't put this in your eyes. And 8% is way too strong for your mouth. You only want to use 3%. And I would only use, if you're washing your mouth out with hydrogen peroxide, I would only use food grade. Kombucha. We make our own kombucha here. We grow it ourselves. You can buy it at the store for convenience. And that's the reason why you would maybe buy yerba mate at the store for convenience. But once you find out you can save up to 70%, why would you go to the store? And not only that, if you're going to the store, there's a lot of loops and holes you got to go through. We have all our sizes up to 5-pound and 30-pound sizes. You don't have to buy a 2-ounce or a 1-pound size. You go up to the biggest size you want. Now, ginger is necessary in your kitchen. I use this every day in my foods. Now, ginger is one of the best ways to keep your machine, this body, healthy. Because when you really look at the ancients, you'll see they used ginger. The ancients really used ginger every day for a reason. And you'll see a lot of these ginger tonics. But make your own. Yeah, I use ginger every day, get it at the farmer's market. The kombucha that we make it so also, I make a very strong brew, and I put this in a bottle, and I reuse all our bottles. This is a bottle, a taco sauce bottle, and you can see these are bottles that someone gives me at the office, and they're mineral bottles they buy from Trader Joe's, and I say, don't throw them out, give them to me, because what I do is I use them to make my liquids and put my water in here. And I put all different types of liquids on only glass. I don't use plastic. Now this is kombucha. You make it yourself, and this is one of the 6 liquids of vitality. Oh my gosh. I drink a glass of this every day, and this is magical stuff, let me tell you. It tastes vinegary a little bit. It's depending on how old that you get it. We make them usually before I start to drink the first batch. It takes 2 weeks. And to make vinegar for what I put on my salads, I usually take another dose, put another dose of sugar in, and wait about 2 more weeks, and then we get a really strong vinegar. So now we get over to here. Now we get into the fats. We're going to get into the seeds. Now, macadamia nuts. Got these from Hawaii when I was there last time. These came off a farm, organic, dehydrated, and magnificent. You need.
Let me cut.
Now remember, after you've done your 2-week brew, then you do another little bit of sugar, and you do another 2 weeks. And it turns into the vinegar. It's full of enzymes. It's raw and it's live. Remember, you're trying to get raw and live foods into your diet, because raw and live means, raw just means it still has its life force, and well, live just means it still has its complete component of life. Life really is what we are, and if we eat life, then what happens to us? We get vital, and if you eat cooked foods, or a lot of cooked foods over time, it's been well known. Look up the Pottinger study and you'll see. It's very simple. I don't have to go through this stuff. Please do your homework. Pottinger study, Dr. Pottinger. Look up the study and you'll see. If you eat cooked food and you eat too much of it, your body just becomes a sewage waste pit, because it can't process dead food. So these live foods, what they do, especially the kombucha, it goes in and it just starts doing what it does. It makes you lean and clean. Now, what I really tell people, this is a big booby trap. I won't get into this too much, but we have a different DVD on this also. Raw apple cider vinegar is what you use. You don't use, and I can tell you, by recommendation and by research, acetic acid to me gives you oxalate poisoning. Acetic acid is different. That's red wine vinegars. It's all these different types of white vinegars. It's distilled. It's been cooked. This is raw, and I like the Bragg's brand. There's several of them there, but you can see there's stuff on the bottom. Okay, see it down there? This is, they call it the veil, and it's got this, it's unfiltered. So even if you get the raw organic, try to get the unfiltered, and just because it's organic doesn't mean that it hasn't been pasteurized. It's very hard to find. Bragg has a good variety of different types of products to step up. Remember, we're all going up to the next level, so go to the next level. I use this on all my salad dressings. I use this quite a bit because this type of vinegar cleans you. The other vinegar, what it does is it hardens you up. And I don't want to, like I said, get into this too deep, but all you have to do is take away all your other vinegars and extract, change them over for the apple cider raw vinegar, which you can buy, or you can make it yourself too, but it's easy to buy. This was only like $10 for this size. And then you make your own kombucha. They both taste beautiful. This is a little stronger, of course. And like I said, this is what I use in my salad dressings. I put, these goji berries are really, really good, and you have to be very careful on the supply of food you get. We actually just sent back a whole container of goji berries because they were contaminated. So just be careful what you get, and that's the reason being, again, why you go to a brand that you feel. This is what we do. This is like, you know, we're not people here that are selling this stuff that don't use the products. This is my kitchen, remember? This is what I use. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff here. We're getting into the oils. Remember, your body needs oils. It takes 10 pounds. Your liver's located right here. Okay? It takes 10 pounds of oil to regenerate your liver every 2 months. So if you don't have the correct, and I keep showing you, remember, body's just a machine. And all I can do is show you what works for me. May not work for you, but let me tell you, I've seen hundreds of thousands of patient office visits as a doctor, and it's very simple. Our bodies are just alkaline water machines, and as long as we hydrate them with the correct fluids, and we eat the correct foods, super fuels, then what happens to us? Our car, when you put super fuel in it, it runs better, faster, quicker, and smarter. And if you put cheap fuel in it, what happens? It knocks, and it needs a tune-up because it gets buildup. And our bodies are the same way. Our bodies get buildup, and that's what you can call body fat or sickness or any of these things. It's just plugged. I call it pluggedness. So let's show you how to jump up 5 steps really quick. You don't need to go up like I did, let me tell you. I crawled up there. I've spent personally, myself and my friends, forget the 10 years of research here. Remember, since 1997, I was disabled for 3 years. I could barely walk, touch my toes. How about have someone help me put my socks on? Make a fist and work out? No, I couldn't. So we're here really just to show you an upgrade, and if you're ready for an upgrade, then it's all here. Remember, and this is wholesale, so all you're going to do is exchange not only your foods for these foods, your liquids for these liquids. How about some of the monies you're spending at some of the big stores? You take out half your money and you start to use the farmer's market. These are your neighbors. These people really do, when you go there, they really put their love and their heart into doing something that they feel is beneficial for the world. It's not an agricultural agricorp, one of these things that machines make food, and they really, remember, don't make the food like you think. There's a lot of good movies for you to see on food, because it's not for me really, again, to tell you what you don't really need to hear, but it's what you need to find out really on your own. I want to stimulate you, but I want you to do the homework. Now the fats, I go through about a gallon of coconut oil, and you can see this is a large gallon of raw centrifuge coconut oil. The way this is, it's not pressed, it's actually spun like in a washing machine, and it spins out the oil, and it comes in various different sizes. In glass, of course, I use these glass containers over and over again, and this container is an HDPT number 2. You don't throw it out. We spend a lot of money for these non-leaching, reusable containers. More oils, macadamia nuts, avocado oil, very special to get. Remember, you need 10 pounds of raw oil, and we're not talking about meat or flesh or animal-based oils. You need all different types of oils, but the best ones we found out are the cleanest and the ones that you can digest the easiest without any residue. Remember, the meats and flesh have a lot of residue. Even yesterday on my internet, I found out that chickens are being fed food with arsenic, and where do you think the arsenic goes? It goes in their body. Mad cow disease. You find out that fresh fish are being fed sometimes really weird food, ground up this and corn and foods and things that they're really not supposed to eat, especially cooked foods. Now, extra virgin olive oil, very special. Try to get mature olive oil if you can. I would not use any oil unless it's organic, because a lot of these oils are full of insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, a lot of different types of chemicals. So be careful. Remember, most of the things we're doing now is just trying to clean up rack. It doesn't mean you can't do what you're doing. It just sort of says optimize it. Let's just go to something besides food right now. Let's just go to smoking cigarettes. Optimizing your health and wellness. Okay, you still want to smoke one of these days. You may want to, change this or do that. But for right now, you're going to smoke. So let's switch over your commercial cigarettes over to maybe an organic brand. One of the organic brands that I know, there's not that many of them, is the Organic American Spirit. And then when you're going to light that cigarette, you're going to try to light it, of course, not with the benzene lighter, because the benzene lighter is petroleum based. We're staying away from petroleum-based leaching things, and that's residue. It goes through your cigarette. So you light it up, and on Earthshift we have this. It's hemp lime that's organic, and it's dipped in not paraffin wax but beeswax. And you light it up, and you light your cigarette up with that. So you can see, you just change over one thing for another, but you're optimizing it. Now we go to the seed department, really important. Hemp protein powder. Okay? Hemp is a universal, let me tell you, this one seed does it all. You can wear this seed, you can use it as medicine, you could actually run your car off it. You can build car bodies. Back in the 30s and 40s, they were using hemp oil for everything, from running your ranch to pretty much running your house. I'm talking about your ranch, all your equipment and so forth. Now, not only does it make beautiful hemp oil, but it also actually has a very high nutritive seed that comes off it. There is no active cannabinoids in this. This is just pure hemp seeds. And each seed is cracked, and you can see these are really cool. And I'm going through this a little slower here, but you'll get it here. Remember, we're trying to get you so you can see the little green pieces in there. Those are actually good for you. That's the inner side of the hemp seed. The hemp seed, remember, is black, and so each one of these things is like a cracked little shell. And what you do is you mix this with a little lemon with a little bit of salt, and voila. What do hemp seeds taste like? Hemp seeds are really oily. That's why you eat them. You keep them in your mouth, and immediately this creamy, really creamy flavor starts to come out. Remember, hemp oil is one of the best oils with coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil. And you chew those seeds up, every little seed. I take a bowl, when I was trading over and changing over my proteins to better sources of protein, I got away from eating pork. I went down to beef, I went to chicken, I went to fish and crustaceans, and basically I took the leap and got off of flesh, which was the best thing I ever did, but boy did I have to go through some turbulence. Remember, what lives inside us does eat. And so if you have flesh-eating microbes, what do you think happens when you don't feed them flesh anymore? They complain. Since they live inside us, they complain within us, and we sort of feel their needs. Sort of weird, remember? Our body's just like sort of like a vessel, and whatever lives inside it lives with us. And parasites, remember, are unknown to the host. That's why you're eating these foods, because now you're going to start feeding you. See, your parasites don't eat this stuff. Guess what parasites eat, real quick here? They eat dead food. They're like cockroaches in the kitchen. Cucarachas in the kitchen really only come because there's a lot of dirt in the kitchen. You clean up the dirt, you clean up your mess, and the cucarachas leave you. Problem is, once you get cucarachas, they're not too easy to leave, are they? We've all had cucarachas, okay? At least that's what we call them when I was in Florida for a while. They're cucarachas because when you turn the light on, man, they run. Now, the body's the same. Parasites, they don't really want to leave you. Remember, they're an energy field. They don't like this food, but what happens, once your body starts getting more energy, once you become more vital and start absorbing more minerals, more liquids, then these parasites just basically start to leave you and look for another host. It's much better than thinking that you're going to try to fight them and duel with them. That wouldn't be too smart. Read the book Parasite Rex again. I always tell that to people. We're going to be putting a lot of literature together on Dr. Robert Cassar.com. It's all free education. Come take a look. And if you have anything that really, you want to share, send it to us, please. We're here to share. We're here to learn. We're here to investigate. Okay? We're here to teach each other, and we're here to ignite each other so we can play this game more efficiently. So we do have a level of efficacy. So we have the chia seeds next. Whoa, chia seeds. The most mightiest seed on the planet besides the hemp. This seed is so magnificent. I take about 2 tablespoons of this in the morning and 2 tablespoons at night. I use my tea in the morning with this. I put 2 tablespoons in my tea. Look up Morning Elixir Tea with Dr. Robert Cassar. You can see how we use the chia. I have the chia in the hibiscus flower water. I put the chia also in the blue green. I make at night chia seed pudding or chia seed dessert. This stuff is the base. It's so good in salad dressings, everything. And plus, this stuff has a massive amount of protein, all your omega-3s. It's the complete seed. Now let's keep going. Here's a few other things we have here. Raw cacao. This is my kitchen. Golden berries, maca root, raw mesquite, and raw pine nuts. And we have raw pumpkin seeds and raw almonds. And we keep on going here. And of course the almonds we have. These almonds come from a local farmer. These are real, raw, unpasteurized almonds. You don't get these in the store. See if you can sprout those almonds. I dare you. These are real and they are raw. They haven't been, see, a lot of people say, oh, well, they haven't been pasteurized. Well, the new thing is they microwave them. So it kills the seed because it can't grow. If the seed can't grow no matter which way you so-called pasteurized it or sterilized it, that's the new thing now. It's to microwave things. So if you microwave something, what do you think you do to it? You kill it, but you didn't pasteurize it, did it? Typical pasteurizations is to use heat. How about using energy now? The guys are pulling a swift one over us. So raw almonds, you make milk with this. You can make milk with the hemp seeds. You can make milk with walnuts, pumpkins, or you can use real milk, which in your transition, this is real whole raw milk, and I use organic pastures. I know the owner, Mark, over there, does a fantastic job. Grass-fed, range, not stuck in cages. This is transitional again. The reason why you have the milk is transition. Once you get to a certain level, the milk's not as interesting to you anymore. But when you stop eating flesh and you stop having all these other types of proteins, this is a good protein mixed with raw cheese and raw butter. And when you smell raw butter doesn't smell like the butter you have. It smells like cheese. It's like a cheese. And butter doesn't smell like that, and you know it. So this butter is original raw butter, and I use this in my smoothies. I use this, remember, you need 10 pounds of raw oil just to regenerate your liver in 2 months. Do you think your brain needs regeneration? Do you think your collagen tissues do? Of course it does. And let's go through now what I would call most important here. We're getting into now the greens. Oops, we forgot jungle peanuts. Very special. Check these things out. They're like this tiger-striped peanut. And the nice thing about this peanut is you don't eat peanuts that grow underground, really. I don't like to because most of them have a lot of mycotoxins and a lot of stuff in them that's not good. And how you eat these is when you're watching television or you're at your office or whatever you're doing, you put it between your fingers like this and you just slide it. And then the shell comes right off. Okay? You don't eat the shell with these. You can see it's very simple. They're white. And they taste really good. They're peanutty, like peanut butter, because that's what they are. They're jungle peanuts. These are actually grown in Ecuador. And again, the same thing. It's easy to take the skin off. You can put these on the skillet too. I use a little sesame seed oil. We'll show you a recipe with this. And make it into like a Thai peanut. I use a little sesame oil, a little ginger, a little bit of coconut aminos. I stay away from using any of the soyas, and I don't use any soy at all. So I try to use now the coconut aminos, which sort of took the place of the soy. It makes it taste really good. And then I put in the best stuff. It's called hot cayenne pepper. This is the hottest cayenne pepper you've ever had, let me tell you. I searched the planet here for stuff that's really unusual. This is about 165,000, they say, BTUs, but it's just so processed and so hot. So you have to be very careful when you use this. Use a little bit, and this is really good because it raises your vibration. That's why you sweat when you take cayenne. Cayenne is very acid, but it's the most alkalizing thing on the planet. You know, back in the 1940s and so, in the war, part of people, let's say you got shot. What happens if you put on something really hot on it? It cauterizes it, it stops it from bleeding, and you save your life. You had cayenne pepper if you got shot. Okay, or you got stabbed. You put this on there, and it would actually swell the wound shut. It's so hot. But remember, it's acid, but it's alkaline. It's the same as a lemon. It's acid, but it provides an alkalinity because it cleanses the body. And I use this in a variety of different things we do. Once we get in now, we're getting into the greens. Okay, We've got chlorella tablets, spirulina tablets. We've got chlorella spirulina tablets, 50-50. We've got a different variety. I eat about 125 to 150 of these a day. I put them in my salads at night with my salad dressing. They crunch, they taste like cheese. They don't taste really that great when you eat them by themselves. Or I mix, it's not that they taste bad, they just sort of taste like a, like a lake. I mix them sometimes with pumpkin seeds, a little cayenne, a little bit of salt, and chlorella pills. And magical, what a dessert. You can also throw some goji berries in there too, because it's nice to put that sweetness in with this really hot, it's like sweet and sour. Chlorella powder, okay, spirulina powder, these are the greens. Dulse, nori sheets, making wraps. This stuff is, remember, sea vegetables have way more minerals floating in 88 minerals than any food that you can get usually in the ground. The ocean has all the minerals in it, and so sea vegetables are very smart. They're not regular land vegetables, they're sea vegetables, and they usually have a lot. Fresh dulse we have, excellent. Also kombu, and a variety of different sea vegetables. They make such good salads, especially when you mix them with the different greens, the chlorellas. Triple C sea blend. This has 3 different types of seaweed we put together. Organic dulse, organic laver, and organic sea lettuce. You really want to get a lot of the iodine daily. Look at the iodine scare we had a little while ago, everybody grabbing. If you had enough iodine in your foods daily, your thyroid has full capacity and it doesn't uptake iodine 131. Why? Because your gland is full of iodine, it doesn't need any more. It only uptakes it because it's lacking. So if you feed your body minerals, then your body becomes full and it gets very powerful. Now, that's the Earthshift Kitchen. It's pretty simple here to see how you upgrade your kitchen. And this is just a little variety because we can go open into the cabinet now because every cabinet has things. But you can see, I have raw honey in here. These take away, I don't eat wheat. I love these, they're crunchy. They're cheap, they're like $2 a piece, and there's no wheat in these. I don't eat any wheat, corn, or soy just because of the contamination that I've read all over the internet. And every time I eat it anyways, I get a stomachache for 2 days. These are really good, and they take the place of crackers. And they're really cracky, snappy. And over here, look. These are better than any potato chip because they crunch. That's the reason why you like eating this stuff, because of the crunch. Come on. You like drinking coffee in the morning because you like the power. How about better than coffee? You go to yerba mate. It's got way more kick and it doesn't give you a stomachache. I drink a cup of coffee, stomach hurts. I have one of these. I can drink this all day. It doesn't bother me a bit. But 1 cup of coffee, I'm very sensitive to chemicals. I'm just very sensitive to things that are really not good for me. So I got into this stuff. Turmeric. Look at the color of this stuff. And I use, remember, as many different jars. I never throw anything away if we can. All these glasses are good. Just watch the tops because most of the tops are not good. Carry my hemp seed in here. This is brown seaweed extract. It's part of our brown seaweed. This is shilajit. More of the coconut. Look at caraway seeds. Excellent to put on your salads. Milk thistle seed. And just a variety of different organic pepper, cinnamon, cumin, and so forth. We'll take you on a trip to many videos by using these different products, and we'd like to have you share your videos with us too, because remember, we're just trying to show everybody there's no way to do this stuff one way. There's a million ways to do it, and this is just some of the cool ways that we found just to get you started, because once you get started, actually, this is really fun. It's like the most pleasurable thing you'll do is to get vital and healthy. We'll see you next time.